I am 16. I'm sorry about that.
Why is he even talking to the 16-year-old? What is happening?
Okay, so...
Wait, but make him answer the part where... Wait, so then would Israel not exist if America pulled out support? Is that acceptable to you? Is he gonna... Because that was the hard part of that question. He's old enough to defend genocide. He's old enough to take the full consequences of that action. I mean, exactly what I'm saying here. Why is he debating clips with me? See, look, he's got the destiny take. Ethnically cleansing isn't always bad. Wait, when I said ethnically cleansing isn't always bad, was that in reference to when I said, I don't think it would necessarily be a bad form of ethnic cleansing if you kicked all of these settlers out of the West Bank?
What happens to the 500,000 Jews that are living in the West Bank?
It is a matter of international law that they are illegal and that they must be removed.
See, look, he's got the destiny take.
This is him defending the World Central Kitchen bombings.
Israel's military chief said it was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in very complex conditions. It shouldn't have happened. No, that's bullshit. The hostage situation where the 3 hostages were shot, that was a chaotic moment. For this, targeted airstrike for people that you had intel on ahead of time on a pre-approved humanitarian aid route, shooting convoy vehicles, no, that excuse doesn't work there. Even if a Hamas member was on board, that can't be the calculation. We're gonna go ahead and blow up 3 humanitarian aid vehicles with 6 or 9 foreign nationals on it because a Hamas member is on board. That can't be the calculation. It's too much. That's unhinged.
They'll literally clip permanently out of context. They will go after your friends.
They'll literally clip you permanently out of context while he's sitting here with a supercut? What's going on? Israel decided to blow some shit yesterday. I don't know what all they hit or why. Apparently Iran said they are still not going to respond, I think I saw. I haven't read everything. Iran wants to ignore it. Yeah, I mean, they should. I mean, it's all super dumb, but the brinksmanship is pretty wacky. You left, right, get in my zone. Live updates. Muted reactions to Israeli strikes on Iran hint at de-escalation. Israel has vowed retaliation for Iran's attack last weekend, but the strikes reported overnight were limited and Iran downplayed them. Here are the latest developments. The Israeli military struck Iran early on Friday, according to 2 Israeli and 3 Iranian officials, in what appeared to be Israel's first military response to Iran's attack last weekend, but one of whose scope, at least initially, appeared to be limited. The Iranian officials said that a strike had hit a military base near the city of Isfahan in central Iran. Initial reaction in both Israel and Iran was muted, which analysts said was a sign that the rivals were seeking to lower the temperature of their conflict. World leaders, who for nearly a week have urged Israel and Iran to avoid sparking a broader war in the region, called for both sides to de-escalate tensions on Friday. The Israeli military declined to comment on the strike. Senior U.S. officials said that Israel had notified the United States through multiple channels shortly before the attack. I think I read that this was like within 24 to 48 hours before the attack. All the officials spoke in the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the matter publicly. The explosions came less than a week after Iran fired more than 300 missiles and drones at Israel, nearly all of which were shot down in response to the April 1st strike on an Iranian diplomatic compound in Syria that killed 7 Iranian officials. That attack brought the decades-long shadow war between Israel and Iran, waged on land, at sea, in air, and in cyberspace, more clearly into the open. Realistically, what could Iran do to respond? They already sent hundreds of missiles. I mean, before it was like older missiles and shit like that. Theoretically, they could do a big old response. I don't think they want to, because like I said, I don't think either side wants like full on war. But I don't know what Israel gains from this. It just seems fucking retarded. Seems stupid, but most likely a move by Israel to say to Iran, we can hit you on your homeland whenever and wherever we want. Was that not known before? I mean, Israel has F-35s, don't they? Like, it just seems retarded. That's true. You think because Iran telegraphed so hard, Israel felt like they could take the risk getting the last word in? I mean, that's obviously what they want to do. It just seems like what if Iran wanted to respond now too? It just seems like it just seems stupid. But I mean, if Iran chills here, I feel like we're at basically the same place we were like 2 or 3 days ago. Is it not just them not wanting to show weakness? Aren't Middle Eastern countries traditionally super into that shit? I mean, historically, if Israel wants to live like it's like in the 1960s or 1970s, they can do it. It's just fucking retarded. I don't think the U.S. should help defend them. I don't think anything. I think that if Israel, if attacks like these get you sucked into war, then your country should just be wiped off the face of the earth. And then people like Netanyahu can walk to God proudly and say, well, our country failed as an experiment because we wanted to do brinksmanship with Iran. It's just like the It's the most retarded fucking shit in the world. Like, the U.S. already told you to shut the fuck up and fuck off in the Iraq War when Saddam was shooting Scud missiles into Israel, trying to bait them in, and they listened then, and they said, okay, well, we'll shut the fuck up and chill, because whatever deterrence capacity Israel thinks it has, like, that's a thing of the past. Like, now you have to play big boy diplomacy, and you got to figure your problems out, you got to work your shit out, and just shooting missiles and pretending like you can, do like brinksmanship with every country around you, like you're back in the 1960s, is fucking retarded. I'd be like, I don't know, it's that simple. Like, it's that easy. Just fucking stupid. I don't know.
Okay, I can hear you. I can see you. Oh my God, you're a baby. What the f? You should be joining Mezarvolt. What the f are you doing?
Can
How
you hear
old are
me?
you?
Wait, my mic working? My mic's working?
Yes.
Holy
Your mic.
shit.
I'm sorry.
bro.
I am sorry for the disturbing with the microphone situation.
How old are you? Right off the jump.
I am 16. I'm not that old. I know.
Why?
But
Why?
I just,
why
I
have
just,
you? Okay, you're 16 years old. Why haven't you joined Mezarvolt?
What'd you say?
Are you a socialist?
I'm first of all, I want this to be respectful. I don't want any harassing or cursing, because you know I'm a
of course
16-year-old.
not.
You can get cancelled for that. I don't wanna do
not.
anything.
Of course
I don't
not.
wanna
Of
do
course
anything.
not.
Okay.
Okay. Are you familiar with the group that I just mentioned? It's called Mezarvolt.
No, I am not that active. I just came on Twitch. I just wanted to like
It's the Israeli Communist Party.
mention that. Let me start like this. I just don't see the point of streaming on Twitch and basically just coming on and some of the things
It's not even a party, it's an advocacy group.
you're
Gotcha.
spreading a right. Some of the things
Hadash
you're
is the
spreading are wrong.
common party.
I just think that it is wrong to come into a topic that is not related to your life. And maybe if you're Muslim, if you're Palestinian, I get it. Okay, you can.
I am Muslim.
If you're Palestinian, I get it. It's okay.
Wait, you said if you're Muslim, I get it. I am Muslim.
What does that mean? What does he mean when he says that? Are Muslims trying to make it like an ethnic thing too? Like, I hate the culturally Muslim shit. Jews can get away with being Jewish because it's an ethnicity. Muslim is not an ethnicity. That's so cringe. Culturally Muslim, that's such a cringe thing. God, it's so cringe. Culturally Muslim means that when you grew up, you never ate pork because it's like, what is it, halal or the opposite, haram? I don't even know. And then you like grew up not eating it, and then you're not Muslim anymore, but you still just don't eat pork because you're like, it's probably not good for you. They don't fast, they don't do Ramadan, they don't do anything else. They just don't eat pork. And they're like, oh, I'm culturally Muslim. That's literally it. That's all it is. They don't eat bacon, okay?
Okay, you're Muslim? No, I was saying that, but no, I was.
So you get
if you're Palestinian, no, sorry, I wasn't saying. Sorry, I'm just kind of.
And drink? No, they do drink.
I'm also ADHD. So what I was trying to say is, if you're Palestinian, okay, I get it. You have every right to be angry. I know everything is going as I'm not happy with the situation. You're not happy with the situation. I know what's going on. The thing is, I just don't see a point of spreading it online to people that don't live there, don't experience what's going on there, and I don't think it seems necessary to actually do all of this. Maybe you can go stream games, to go do things that entertain your viewers, but I don't see posting media on the internet related about something. Because let's say the Ukraine and Russia war. When was the last time you heard it about the media? It's very, very rare to actually see something related about that. And you can, if you want, you can agree. If you want, you cannot agree. But
No, I agree. I think America.
He's been claiming the Muslim card a lot recently. He went on a long rant during Ramadan about how he's a bad Muslim. Okay.
Media. It's very, very rare to actually see something related about that. And you can, if you want, you can agree. If you want, you cannot agree. But
No, I agree. I think America is no longer as interested in using Ukraine as a talking point, and they've just kind of completely dropped the conversation. But one thing you mentioned that I think is very interesting. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to be like combative with you at all, and I'm really glad that you came on. It's very brave of you to do so. I have a couple questions for you. First of all, you had a cat with a Ushanka on your Avi. So are you a socialist? Do you consider yourself?
I am not associated. I just thought it was a cool kitty picture.
Okay, that's cool. That's good to know. I just, there are a lot of Israeli leftists and socialists and communists who are exactly in your age group that are fans of mine. I don't know if you know any of them or not, but that's why I thought maybe it was one of those situations. But
oh no, this is like my second time hopping on stream. I'm sorry if I'm like
no, don't apologize. Okay, so you said a couple different things that I want to address. So first, you said that it's not your business. You know what I mean? But then you also said that if you're Muslim, if you're Palestinian, I get it. And I told you I'm Muslim.
I was mainly going for the. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I was mainly going for the Palestinian, like civilians or people that got deported or evacuated from there. That was the main group I was focusing on. That you can have every right to be angry or to have an opinion about it.
Okay.
But
So
the only thing I see is about like other people that are not actually living or went through the horrors of both sides. I don't think they have a right to speak about it.
okay. So here's a question I have for you. Right? There's two different avenues to tackle this on. One is obviously the morality, right? And the other is the logistics. And I think you're wrong on both accounts, but I'll go through the morality one real quick.
All right.
Are you familiar with the saying Martin Luther King once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere?
Oh my God, the MLK shit. Always.
I've never heard of that. Can you explain about it real quick?
Yes. So injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, right? So when people are being wronged far away from us, if we see that, we have a moral imperative, in my opinion, to put an end to it, to draw awareness to it, and to do everything we can to stop it. Do you agree with that? Like, for example, when you see, let's lower the barriers and not talk about like systems of oppression or anything like that, but simply talk about like, if you saw a woman being robbed at gunpoint, or not at gunpoint, but if you saw a woman having their purse stolen and on the side of the street, would you not call for action? Would you not call to say like, hey, stop that, or call for the cops or something like that?
I would report the person to the police. I won't, because it's none. I would do as minimalistic thing as I can. I won't. Not saying as I go to pro. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm diverting it back to the conflict.
No, it's fine.
But, I'm not meaning like you can go to parades. It's just like you can do it. Every person has their own free will. I'm not saying don't go to it. I'm just saying it's like I don't think it is necessary because I don't think it is right.
Why do we have to invoke MLK here? This is such an easy listen. If you're not personally suffering, that doesn't mean that you can't advocate for other people that are. We are capable of pointing out injustices in the world, and you have an obligation to speak out against those, especially when the people can't speak out themselves, right? Otherwise, there are groups of people without the ears of the media, without the eyes of television cameras or streams, who would never get recognized internationally because nobody else is speaking out for them. This is super easy. You don't need to invoke MLK. We don't need to talk about anything. This is super easy. I don't know how you could ever disagree with this.
Yeah, basically, I just don't think that it's right to do that. To come and say and go and if you, it's yeah.
I think on the morals alone,
I'm done for now. You go.
Okay, so on the morals alone, I disagree with you, and here's why. I think that even if I was not even remotely connected to the actions that Israel takes or the oppression and the struggle that Palestinians withstand on a daily basis, I think that it is still the right thing and the moral thing to speak out against such injustices. And the example I will use is the Holocaust, right? I think it was a good thing that we and the rest of the Allied forces took a stand against the inhumane actions that the...
Not even. No, not really. The Holocaust isn't even... It's not even a good example. It's dumb for two reasons. One is because... There's got to be something else that happened besides World War II that we can talk about. And two, we didn't take a stand against the Holocaust and do World War II to stop the Holocaust. It's not even like good factually or like as an example. It's just dumb.
The Nazi government was taking at the time. I think that the entire world coming together, the Allied forces coming together, and forcibly putting an end to the Nazi regime was an objective good. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that, yes.
Do you think that if other people also, at the same time, and there were many people that were like, let's not get involved in this, this is not our affairs at all, right?
Yes.
If other people had your attitude that you're demonstrating right now, the outcome of history might have been very different.
That doesn't even make sense here because that was our attitude. It was Pearl Harbor that pulled us into World War II for real. Like, I mean, we were lending shit and doing other shit beforehand, but it was like, but whatever. Who cares?
Do you agree?
I agree. Yes, I just
So I think you do understand why people who are not directly related to the cause can see injustice and take matters into their own hands to try and stop it. And
like
it can be
the thing is, if they want to, I'm not meaning I'm saying it's sarcastic, but if you want to come and help the God,
oh, sure. Thanks to the tier 5 reset, everybody.
If you want to kill the militants, you want to call them terrorists, call them however you want. If you want to go, I'm not going to do it, but go. I'll book you a flight. Go book a flight. Go try cross the border. And
well, I can't.
Try and help them. See what? Yeah, of course.
There's no way to get into.
There is no way to get in.
Yeah, there's currently no way to get in.
Take an airstrike and shoot him.
Yeah. So okay. I mean, it's beyond that. Obviously, there are, I would say, steps before you rise up in arms against the Israeli state. I think.
Oh yeah.
Don't you think?
I'm sorry to ask this, but can we just a bit focus? I'm not trying to go to the history. What I mainly came here for is for justifying justifying from whatever's my side of the Israeli side, not trying to do it in any unrespectful way. I'm just trying to...
No, I know, and I appreciate...
I'm trying to express my opinion about the 7th of October, if you can just focus on that and not the history.
I appreciate you. You've been very cordial. So the thing I wanted to say is that there's a second part to this argument as well. Is you say that we as Americans, for example, are far removed from this conflict. And that is, of course, not the case. And here's why. I will repeat what I told you before you got on the guest star, that American tax dollars and American munitions are used in both the offensive war that Israel is conducting in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, and American defense capabilities are what allows Israel to take increasingly dangerous actions in the region as a destabilizing force, like striking the Iranian consulate compound in Damascus, violating international law, and violating Iranian sovereignty. They would not be able to do this if they didn't know full
Wouldn't it be violating Syrian sovereignty, technically?
well that American military, paid for by the American tax dollars, myself included, would come to defend Israel unconditionally. This if a consulate compound in Damascus, violating international law, and violating Iranian sovereignty. They would not be able to do this if they didn't know full well that American military, paid for by the American tax dollars, myself included, would come to defend Israel unconditionally at every step of the way. So this actually makes us, in the United States of America, morally culpable with the actions that Israel is taking. This is
also, by the way, this is a bait and switch. When people say this, well, I just don't like Israel here because we support them. Do you think that if we stopped supporting Israel, do you think they'd stop talking about it? Like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to front 10% of Israel's military budget anymore. We're going to hold that money back. Okay, and now I'm happy. Yeah, Israel can do what they want. At least we're not supporting them. Do you really think that would be the case?
is precisely the reason why a lot of my coverage personally doesn't simply revolve around what is going on the ground in Gaza or what is going on in Israeli politics. I am a political commentator. I do talk about these sorts of things as well, of course. But a big part of my coverage also revolves around getting our politicians in the United States of America to stop unconditionally offering support to Israel in the form of giving billions of dollars worth of weapons to Israel and consistently replenishing their munitions as they are conducting what I consider to be
a genocidal
cleansing campaign.
Oh, that my bad.
Okay. So, based about what you said, tell me if I'm correct or not. You're saying you're paying your tax money and you're working and you're giving your money to basically the U.S., which supports us, which lets us do whatever we want. Is that what you said?
I mean, it's a little reductive, but yeah, pretty much.
Roughly what I saw. Okay. So, let's say the U.S. wasn't just such of a big a big part of the world, and it was, let's say, one of the small European countries, and it was America, named America, and everything was the same thing, and the economy, let's say, it was the same thing. I'm theoretically, okay? I'm not saying it's real. It's gonna happen. Now, and let's say everyone hated you, okay? And you had no one backing up. You had no one backing you back. You had no one backing you up. And let's say Iran was beef with them as well. They would just strike us, and there was no more America, right? There was no more America.
So can I ask you a question? In this hypothetical, have I done anything that has caused people to hate me? Like, am I doing stuff? Do I get
That's the thing. Let's say I'm sorry, I'm going back. I just need this to express my opinion. When the Holocaust happened, I'm sorry I'm going through this. I said I won't.
No, don't apologize. It's fine. Go ahead.
Because I want to keep this as organized as possible. On the Holocaust, around 6 million Jews around the world died, and that was mainly.
What is it? Okay? I'm getting micro triggered here. When Hasan has like guests on that he's got, I feel like Hasan does two types of conversations. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I might just be getting micro triggered. Okay, when Hasan has people on to circle jerk him, he is there and he's like asking questions kind of so that he can say what he believes and they can say things that he believes as well. And then he just kind of circle jerks. And then when he has adversarial conversations, he's not really like talking to the person or paying attention. He's like kind of talking at the audience. And like the whole time the person's talking, tell me if I'm getting micro triggered by this or it's not true. He's not even really listening or watching the person. He's just like looking at chat and laughing at this person the whole fucking time.
Because the Germans just disliked or had any sort of disagreement with the Jews.
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but
I know it is a bit more complicated, but that's roughly what it was, right?
Judeo-Bolshevism, as you know, they hated communism, socialism, trade unionism. They wanted an outgroup, a permanent outgroup, and they found Jews to be the historic enemy, which was a very comfortable narrative for them, as you know, as I'm sure you're aware of. I don't need to educate you on Jewish history. Jews have always been the number one villains in the eyes of all of these monstrous individuals, right? Centuries of pogroms, whether it be Tsarist Russia, or whether it be Spain and all these Christian countries, they've always somehow found Jews to be the responsible party for everything and lied about Jewish people drinking the blood of Christian babies and whatnot. Germany was kind of playing on that age-old classic. It was bullshit, of course. I mean, obviously, Jews were not responsible for the things that Germany claimed that they were responsible for. It was economic collapse after World War I and many other factors. But yeah, you're right.
So, now I will continue. Sorry. So if that happened, wait, okay. Where was I? I forgot.
You were talking about how the Nazis set up a dehumanization campaign against Jews in Germany and everywhere else in Europe, as a matter of fact, that ended up justifying, in the eyes of their allies and in the eyes of Nazi Germany, the complete death and destruction of the Jewish population, 6 million Jews specifically.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So what I was coming on to say, if America, if it happened, let's say to America, if it's a no, wait. It is very late here. I'm sorry. My brain is just like 2 a.m. here. I'm sorry for my brain. Yeah, that was my mom. She said that was noisy. I'm sorry about that.
Why is
Why is
mom
he
up
even
at 2
talking to
a.m.?
the 16-year-old? What is happening?
She works at the national radio, so she has to stay up and do everything.
Okay.
Okay, I can. If you're interested, I can explain about that later.
No. Go on. I'm interested in what you have to say.
Okay. So what I was going on to say with let's that pretend game, not pretend, the pretend game with the U.S. being in the Israeli spot. There was basically no. Let me go to another subject. If America didn't support Israel, do you know any strong empires around the world? Not empires, but like strong dominant countries. Like I don't really know the specific word. But in this way, yeah, sorry.
World powers, superpowers?
Any
No.
strong nations that are, and none of them would support Israel. Only like 1 or 2 small ones. 99% would already be dead. Like 99% of us here.
I don't think
If
so.
we didn't have America on
Wait,
on our
why don't
side,
you think
we
so?
would be
Make him expand on that.
defenseless, 100%. We would not.
So
have any defense.
I don't think so. But here's why. One, if you recognize what you just said, then you understand why I, as an American, do play a role in this, and therefore it is totally valid for me to speak on Israel's actions, right? Because you just said if America wasn't in defense of Israel or wasn't unconditionally offering support to Israel, then Israeli lives would be at stake. If you find that to be correct, as do I, to a certain degree, then you understand why it is my moral imperative as an American citizen to put an end to Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza. So it is very much my business.
Okay, so
Wait, but make him answer the part where... Wait, so then would Israel not exist if America pulled out support? Is that acceptable to you? Is he going to... Because that was the hard part of that question.
I agree. I agree. Both sides do some sort of genocide. Okay, I can partially
Well,
agree with you on that. Okay.
Do you? Okay. Oh no, I don't agree with unless you're talking about America and Israel.
No.
Hi, what's up? Where's your guitar cable? In my bedroom. Ooh, be careful. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about Israel and Palestine. I'm not talking about that. I'm not
Okay.
talking about Israel and America. I'm sorry.
No,
if got
I don't
confused
agree
there.
that Palestine or Palestinians are doing genocide. I don't agree with that
Okay,
assessment.
can I? It's okay. I respect your opinion. I just kind of just.
Okay, no, tell me why you think that though, because you said Israel is doing a genocide, which I think is a brave take to have, especially as an Israeli. There are plenty of Israelis in my chat who also feel the same way, including
Let me just say one short thing. In general, in conclusion, everyone is brainwashed by the media. We can never know what is real, what is fake. And only
I
if you
agree.
went there and you have witnessed that,
my God.
there is no way to know what's real, what's fake. Because
Okay,
there's,
I don't
let's
agree
say
with
I'm
that.
bringing
We are
I'm-
yes.
I'm-
The media does filter information and offers a lens and a perspective and they do it for obvious reasons. However, no, I don't agree that like you can't come to a honest conclusion about what is going on your own unless you literally are inside of Gaza. Because guess what? We have access to people that are currently trapped inside of Gaza, so we can hear their perspective directly due to social media, especially.
What?
I'll message when we're ready to go.
Okay. We're still shooting for 4, or is it going to be a little later? Or? Sorry. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it might be a little later. I mean, it seems like a fast fix, so we're just going to do it real quick, see how it sounds.
Okay.
So
and sadly, we cannot hear our people that have been captured by Gaza or have already been killed, which lots of cases have been already found of Israeli civilians that were running for their lives while being captured by Gazan militants. Sorry for that. And basically being taken there. There has been witnesses and people confirming. And they're like people telling their story. Maybe it was scripted, maybe it was not. I am not sure what's going on. But from my perspective, from my thought and like way of thinking, I think both sides are wrong. I'm saying yes, there are some things we did bad, but we're not all bad. We're not all.
what do you mean we are not all bad? By the way, do you mean like every Israeli citizzen, or do you mean the Israeli defense
Every
force?
Israeli citizen. Every Israeli
No, I don't think every Israeli citizen is bad.
Because people come and say free Palestine and basically eliminate all Israeli people, and that's like very extremist opinions.
People say a lot of stuff, right?
People say a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
What really gets me frustrated is.
That doesn't mean that that's
what
my
makes me really
perspective.
frustrated that is people. I'm sorry, very sorry. What really gets me really upset is that people say things without actually being aware. Because I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying there are people that don't do their research and spread out opinions. I know you did the research. You did the research, and I really appreciate that for you. Appreciate you for that. But I just don't think everyone can come and say those sentences and do those actions without knowing what's really going on.
Sure. I think that there are, of course, going to be uninformed people on every side of a conversation.
Okay, this is like nothing. This is worthless. Apparently, this is Mike talking about this kid. Defending and promoting genocide in media has been punished with criminal sanctions. I don't care if my enemy is dumb or malicious. They are an enemy. He's old enough to defend genocide. He's old enough to take the full consequences of that action. I mean exactly what I'm saying here. I keep typing in chat, whoops, this guy is a complete fucking moron. Wiki over something that doesn't even happen anymore. Fucking worthless. Bro, he's 16 years old. My God.
I don't know if you know this, but like, this is the most amount of work I can do. Do you think I don't think about that? You think I don't think about it? First of all, I have gone out there to protest as well. I literally went to Melbourne and attended a Palestinian protest. But it is interesting that you're...
Oh, is he talking about when he went to his like fun Australian trip?
I'm sorry, I forgot to say you need to stop drinking Coke Zero on stream.
Why?
It's boycott.
Wait, is it?
You're preaching pro-Palestine and you're drinking all this boycott stuff. Please, Hasan. At least pretend. Do it off stream. Please.
Okay, I'll put it in a glass. Is Pepsi okay?
No.
No soda, Hasan.
I didn't know it was like that.
He graced a protest with his presence for a bit.
And went to Melbourne and attended. Think about it. First of all, I have gone out there to protest as well. I literally fucking went to Melbourne and...
I have gone out there. Wait, hold on.
I don't know if you know this, but like, this is the most amount of work I can do. Do you think I don't think about that? You think I don't think about it? First of all, I have gone out there to protest as well. I literally fucking went to Melbourne and attended a Palestinian protest. But it is interesting that you're saying that, because behind this fucking keyboard and behind this screen for the past 10 fucking years, I've been able to, one, change a lot of minds on this issue to help them see the truth. Maybe even yourself. I've offered 7 months of relentless coverage, despite the fact that a third of this community left because of the coverage itself and because of my opinion that did not change over the past 10 years, even after October 7. But not only that, but these sacrifices, quote unquote, are nothing in comparison to what the Palestinian people are experiencing, which is a point that I reiterate quite thoroughly. But obviously, this is me maxing out my potential.
Maxing out his potential. God damn. This is Hasan's maximum potential. Israel is going to attack the Gaza Strip. There's probably going to be a fair amount of damage. And in 3 weeks, maybe? Or 2 weeks, all of us are going to forget about this and move on to the next thing. People are conflating the baby with a 40...
Damn, he did such a... Wait, what? He was so right, dude.
And in 3 weeks... What is this? Am I in Sweden? Oh, is this like on October 7th? I think... Is that... Oh, no, October 10th. Never mind. Listen, that's what's happened in the past. People attack, people move on. Nobody gives a fuck. Maybe. Didn't happen this time, though. All of us are going to forget about this and move on to the next thing. People are conflating the baby with the 40 babies, and it's not like every single baby was... Why can't these other Arab states take in their brothers? Where are Arab brothers?
Why do we care about this loser? I would say that he's probably one of the more prominent pro-Israel voices in general, especially online. Obviously, he's not one of the most prominent voices for Israel.
Why is it? I don't understand why he's looking at clips of me from 7-8 months ago. Why is he debating clips of me when I barely knew anything whatsoever about anything relating to this conflict? What is the... I'm sure you could find a billion retarded things I said in October, but...
On mainstream media, but he definitely is. An orbiter yesterday was crying about your gun tweet and was having a hard time ignoring Bonarelli saying that he's pro-genocide. You pretty much came with her son, wasn't joking, even though you said it was a joke and Bonarelli really was joking. Yeah, I know.
Oh, a 16-like TikTok clip. Do you think he had a fan put it together and now he's reacting to it? How do you even find this? Sisters to host their other brothers and sisters. Sharia posted AI content of Israeli babies claiming it was real. That is not true. Those pictures were real. Anybody claiming that it's AI babies is lying. That is not true. Yeah, I don't know. I should look into this. I should do... Once I get home... Wait, that part wasn't even... That wasn't even not true, though. I was right there. Wait, is this just a bunch of random clips of me saying... Wait, hold on. sisters to host their other brothers and sisters. She reposted AI content of Israeli babies, claiming it was real. That is not true. Those pictures were real. Anybody claiming that it's AI babies is lying. That is not true. Yeah, I don't know. I should look into that. Anyone claiming they were AI? The problem with that post, I talked about this at the time, is people were saying that the post was AI. There was no proof that the post was AI, other than one anonymous picture generator said that it was, but those things aren't necessarily reliable. I don't think that picture was AI. There's no reason to believe that picture was AI. Or if it was, that the one thing that was posted wasn't proof of it. But I don't think I was even wrong there. This I should do once I get home. I hope it's still somewhat relevant so we can like research it. I don't think anybody in the Middle East really likes Palestinians. They seem to be pretty insane anywhere they go. Very true. True. That is true. And I even said once I get home I will research it. That is absolutely true. Everybody has issues with Palestinians, but they're not going to annex Gaza. That's not going to happen.
Okay. Look, be careful. We don't want to have you having a Hasan moment.
True. There's no way they would annex Gaza. That would be wild. I'll stake a big claim on that. There is no shot that they annex it. If they did annex it, it would only be after a massive ethnic cleansing of Gazans out of the.
I like that they call it a Hasan moment in that community. When you like, he literally has a sequence of false predictions on a daily basis. But it's like everybody always talks about the Russia will not invade Ukraine moment. That's literally at this point years ago. Something that
The difference is that the United States and all of the world's intelligence was saying that it was going to happen. Russia was poised to do it. And Hasan was saying it wasn't going to happen, smugly posting about it in stories every single day because he had an ideological narrative that the West always lies. There's a difference. Hasan's analysis was built on literally nothing. Like, it was just because he hates America, he was saying it was a lie. There's a difference about that. Also, I don't think I've even necessarily predicted anything incorrect yet, have I? Unless I guess they annex the Gaza Strip.
always talks about the Russia will not invade Ukraine moment. That's literally at this point years ago. Something that I immediately... The side that is always wrong, as long as they're always...
Oh, we'd stop caring about it in 3 weeks? Yeah, that was incorrect, I guess. I mean, we stopped caring about Russia, Ukraine, but why do we still care about Israel, Palestine? I truly don't know. I don't understand the American mind. Other than Israel, Palestine is like, it's probably a combination of two things. One is because Israel, Palestine is the perfect conflict for everybody to read into. No, it's a combination of three things. One is that. The second one is that it's a historically large operation, larger than the prior 3 or 4 that have gone on in Gaza. And I also think it's because the news cycle is dead as fuck in the United States because we've got 2 candidates that have already been incumbents. Would you say that? Trump was an incumbent. 2 ex-presidents, current president, running against each other, so there's just not much to talk about. So maybe those 3 things are like playing into it, but because traditionally we don't usually care about conflicts for this long, but I think it's the lack of other shit that's been going on.
Wrong, but along with America's State Department can always consistently get things wrong. It does not matter. But if you are against American propaganda, if you are against the American State Department's actions, if you're against American imperialism, the one fucking time.
Didn't we care for Ukraine at the same level the first 6 months? I don't know. I feel like we cared about Ukraine for like 3 or 4 weeks, like when we thought the invasion was going to happen and then it didn't. And then I feel like other stuff was going on, but I'd have to look back in time to remember what else was 2022, right? We were out of COVID by then. We were out of like vaccines and mandates and everything by then too, right? Somebody said a year plus. I feel like it wasn't that long that we super cared about Ukraine. I feel like it was like a month or 2 tops. Was it even 2 months? Inflation was happening and everything. Yeah.
The one fucking prediction you get wrong, even if your analysis on it was sound, even if you were literally channeling what Zelensky was saying, it doesn't matter. They will repeat it all the fucking time. Because you have to remember. I like how you're so chill about this. I didn't know there was major beef until I met a D fan IRL and he was unhinged and talking shit on you. I never really heard about you talk about D until these last few months. Yes, I did not talk about
midterms as well. Yeah.
Until the Israel shit. Okay? That's it. And in the beginning of October 7, I even said that as long as you are pro...
I still think you underestimate the impact this conflict will have in the long term in the political landscape destiny. My current view of the Middle East right now is... my view of the Middle East is you have... I think this is like the current view of the Middle East, is you've got a huge rift where you've got Iran, you've got Iraq, and you've got Syria, especially these 2 guys. You've got Iran's like penetration into the Gulf with the Houthis in Yemen, okay? And then you've got Iran's penetration into Israel with Hezbollah and then you've got Iran's penetration into Israel with Hamas. I feel like you've got this axis right here that's also kind of supported by Russia, kind of by China. I think China is trying to gain influence in like the Gulf and with these, but I don't think, I know that China sent help, a little bit of help to Syria during the civil war. Russia sent a lot of help in the civil war. I know that China was trying to broker peace in the Gulf states, maybe between Iran and Saudi Arabia, or was it just Saudi Arabia and Yemen and Iran? I think everybody. But this is like, I think these are your major battle lines. And then you've got like Saudi Arabia, and then you've got Israel. Israel. I feel like these are your big, like you've got these guys, and then these Iranian proxies, and then you've got like Saudi Arabia, Israel, and I guess the UAE, and then I don't know, Qatar is like a weird thing that I think some people don't like or do like. I'm not sure. Their relationship with Saudi Arabia seems strange. Apparently nobody in the Gulf likes them, but I don't know that much. And then obviously the US is backing this side down here, and then kind of like Russia's backing this side up here. Jesus, what is this typing? And then you've got China, who's kind of like chilling over here. Qatar is hated by Saudi Arabia. Yeah, their relationship is kind of strained. I don't know all the history for why, but I know that they have issues with each other. I think the biggest issue with the Israel-Palestinian conflict is, I think Israel is pretty chill with all of the Arab leadership south of this axis, I think. But the Palestinian problem in Israel makes a lot of the Arab populations have big issues with Israel, which is why it feels like the biggest issue with this part of the axis down here is that Palestinian problem. And if Israel doesn't figure out a way to solve it, it's always going to be like a sticking point that Iran can and other people can use to foster hatred of Israel throughout this kind of like quasi-coalition or whatever the fuck down here. So when you say the conflict could have wide implications for the region, I feel like you're right, but it's because it's not necessarily just this war, although it kind of is, but it's every war. It's just Israel not having a solution to this Palestinian problem is just fucking them hard. It's just fucking them so hard, and it's fucking the region hard. Well, depending on who you are, I guess. The way I kept this conflict in the spotlight is the weird way every Muslim on the planet activated simultaneously like the Winter Soldier to spray anti-Israel propaganda all over the internet 24/7. Maybe. I mean, I feel like they've kind of always done that, though, no? But like Sheikh Jarrah had a lot of people posting shit online and everything a few years ago. But I mean, this is also a larger conflict, too. It would be no different, dude, if the Palestinians never existed. You really think it goes away because of the Palestinian conflict? I think that the Palestinian conflict is giving a lot more legitimate reason to hate Israel. I think there's a lot of subject matter there to mine for continuing to fucking hate Israel, I think. It just needs to be solved. It's not only up for Israel to have a solution. Unfortunately, the Palestinians need to eventually come to the negotiating table with a serious proposal. I'm sure Israelis would be willing to make a sacrifice if something serious was presented. Maybe, but if you're a Palestinian, remember, I think you have to look at the incentives, right? If you're Israel, you want to solve this problem because you want to have a stable country. You want to start forming stronger and more stable relationships with other countries down here in the Gulf and in Africa. And you can't do that as long as the Palestinian problem is huge in your country. But if you're a Palestinian, well, why would you want to solve this problem? If you're a Palestinian, you shouldn't want to solve this problem ever, because the longer you wait, the more unstable Israel becomes, the more you can fight for more land, the more you get international pressure on your side, the less stable this kind of Israel, Saudi Arabia, Gulf like union, whatever the fuck is, right? So because you have so much international support as a Palestinian, because you never lose politically, remember, Palestinians have never lost anything politically since 1948, okay? They can always say 67 borders, 67 borders, 67 borders. They can always say that. So why would you ever strike a peace deal if you're a Palestinian? Why would you ever do that? Israel gives no fucks about PR. We probably aren't going to see support wane for Palestine until the ICJ court decision. Israel does care about PR, or they should. PR is incredibly important for Israel. It's arguably the only reason why that country has survived to the point that it has. PR is very important, and Western support is very important for Israel. Early Ben-Gurion and early Israeli prime ministers knew that, and hopefully Israel doesn't lose their way and forget that. Hopefully not. You think Israel is going to war with Iran? No, my prediction is basically the same as it was before they attacked. I don't think that anybody really wants to escalate. I don't think anybody wants to start World War III. I think it's all just like angry posturing at each other. I didn't think Israel would attack Iran again, but apparently they did. But supposedly it's a really small attack. Supposedly Iran is saying it wasn't a big deal. Israel did their thing. It's fucking retarded, but I think it's more or less, I think it's the same situation as it was a week ago or a few days ago, where they just wanted to get like the last like fucking slap. But it's brinksmanship a little bit, right? Because if Iran was like, well, we want to respond, because I think Iran has already said they have no intention to respond, right? And they're downplaying, because they're downplaying the attack and everything. So you have previously said that they don't need our support and would do good on their own, right? No, I said that for the foundation of Israel, they didn't really have much Western support and they fought it all on their own. But post 67 onwards, I think Israel has Western support has been pretty important. In Yom Kippur, the United States was airdropping and replacing every single lost piece of armor, every single weapon. The United States was resupplying Israel like crazy in the beginning of the Yom Kippur War. Arguably, without that massive support from the U.S., Israel would have lost. Israel was in a scary position for the first few days of that war. And I think that was one of the reasons why they were more keen to look for peaceful solutions after that, because they didn't want to rerun that and have another war where they start to actually lose huge amounts of territory. Do they need U.S. support right now? Israel? You do, of course. Why? Do you really want to be on your own in the Middle East? Do you want to be with no friends, no allies? Like, why would you want that? Can you explain why they can keep pointing to 67 borders? It helped me argue with people. It's just dumb. It's Yom Kippur, not Yom Kippur. I've literally heard Joe say both, so... Oh, I think I even say in that fucking, live from the table. Is that what it is? Oh, fuck. I wonder if they cut that part out. It was, Finkelstein or Finkelstein. And I was like, even you guys don't know how to fucking say it right. You people. Oh, it was this. Like this type of conflict.
Also,
and,
do you agree with this? And this doesn't apply to all Israeli advocates for sure. Mm-hmm. But with Benny Morris versus Finkelstein, Stein.
I'm glad you people make that mistake too. I never know.
I
never know if it's Stein or Stein. So I'm glad you guys fuck it up too.
This is how you get thrown off Twitch. You say you people.
Yeah, I do. I'm already thrown off Twitch. I do say you people. But fuck them. You guys just do that shit to with the goyim. Okay, I know you do. You don't even have real names. Okay.
Palestinian
Are you
emancipation.
still planning your trip to Israel, Palestine? Yeah, I am, but everybody's like nervous. They're like, they don't know if Israel's going to get exploded or not, or if they're going to get in a big war. So, but I'm still, it's like, when you're adding to more guns on the wall, I don't know if I could think of a nice way to set it up. I don't like hammering things into that wall. I'm not like a carpenter person at all. I'd have to start. I don't know. Are you planning on having another talk with them? They seem cool. Maybe. He said he invited me back. We chatted a little bit after. He seems like a really nice, friendly guy. Like, emails me a lot of stuff. The gnome dude seems really cool.
I think that it's fine. You're on the right side of history. I even fucking gave props to goblin porn lover Vosh for his consistent defense of Palestinians. I don't know where he is at now or what he believes now.
It's pronounced Noam.
I said the same for, horse porn, not goblin porn. Said the same for Boner Box too. I don't give a shit about this weirdos fucking orbiters as long as they are pro-Palestinian and pro-Palestinian emancipation. That's what I care about. That's all I give a shit about. That's all I care about on this issue. It is wild, though, that, IRL, in real life, his fucking fans are also bringing that exact same level of intensity to conversation. To be like, I fucking hate this random dude online on Twitter. Like, this dude has despised me and stalked my ass with this fucking rabid-ass community for the past 5 years and has every step of the way tried to make my life miserable. And even I don't fucking talk about him in the real world. You know what I mean? Why the fuck would I ever bring him up? And I didn't for years. And the only reason why I do now is because of this Israel Defense Brigade shit that he does on a genuine, on a regular basis. A lot easier to appear reasonable and kind when you don't have to confront your moral position every fucking time something awful happens.
Gazan territory into Egypt or into the sea. Bro, you have an optics issue? I have an optics issue for fucking retards, okay? You can watch anything I've said on this, or you can engage with any level of what I've said on this. You can argue that I have a quote-unquote optics issue, the same way that Palestinians have an issue that their bodies are... Hold on, I almost made an unhinged comment. There weren't like a group of people there that were like, we are the state of Palestine, there was some territory recognized as...
What is this? What is a supercut? What the fuck are we... What is the point of this? Is it supposed to be like serious political commentary? I feel like I've researched and said more about this publicly than probably any other large, maybe any other politics streamer, period. Just because of like how much we spent on stream. Why not engage with anything long form? Why do supercuts? There's so much long form conversation I've had about this. It's wild to do an amalgamation of clips that are 6 months old.
Palestine or whatever prior to the British mandate of Palestine. Israel doesn't have radical terrorist factions as part of its state or government. Yeah, everybody has been on the like team of no ethnic cleansing. Like, yeah, this isn't novel. Yeah, no.
Yeah, except he wasn't.
See, look, he's got the destiny take. Ethnically cleansing isn't always bad.
Illegal settlements is not the threshold. I just don't know what the...
Wait, when I said ethnically cleansing isn't always bad, was that in reference to when I said I don't think it would necessarily be a bad form of ethnic cleansing if you kicked all of these settlers out of the West Bank? Wasn't that what that conversation was about? To show that, like, well, ethnic cleansing isn't necessarily bad.
What happens to the 500,000 Jews that are living in the West Bank? What happens to the millions of Jews that are living in Israel?
These illegal settlements, one either needs to accept their permanent presence, or otherwise one is being anti-Semitic and genocidal and an ethnic cleanser, is the height of absurdity. It is a matter of international law that they are illegal and that they must be removed until the very last one. Now, if you don't like that, your problem is not with me. Your problem is with international law. Your problem is with the numerous resolutions by numerous international bodies that have enshrined this principle.
Just very quick response. Okay. Just one quick, and then so, Moin, it's so easy for me to say, I don't want to see one Palestinian from Gaza to be ethnically cleansed from the land. I do not want to see one Palestinian in the West Bank to be ethnically cleansed from the land. I don't want to see one, either be they identified as Israeli or Palestinian, to be ethnically cleansed from Israel. Yet it's a height of hypocrisy for you to sit here and claim that Israel is trying to ethnically cleanse Gaza, whereas you yourself want to see 500,000 Jewish refugees. Your moral solution, which according to you, which is international law, which it isn't, but we can go there, is your moral solution is the...
I wonder if I could get him to admit that. Like, you want to see a form of ethnic cleansing as well, right? Maybe he would say, well, it's not ethnically cleansing because it's legal, but ethnically cleansing is not illegal under international law. So I don't even think it's an internationally legally defined term. See, look, he's got the destiny take. Ethnically cleansing isn't always bad.
The creation of 500,000 Jewish refugees. That is no moral solution. That is disgusting anti-Semitic racism at its finest.
But then he's got to pull the anti-Semitic card. Cringe. Or you could argue there was an ethnic cleansing in the Sinai when Israel gave the Sinai Peninsula back to Egypt and they kicked the 5,000 settlers out of the Sinai and brought them back into Israel. Or when Israel kicked all of the settlers out of Gaza in 2005 and they ethnically cleansed all the Jews technically from the Gaza Strip. Or like...
The threshold would be.
It would probably be an excess number of civilian casualties. 10,000 feels bad, 20,000 feels bad, 30,000 feels bad. If like more than like 20, 30, 40,000 people, yeah, I think that would be really, really, really bad for Israel. Once this particular incursion into the Gaza Strip stops, I think everybody goes back to not giving up again. That's my guess. A Palestinian identity is a myth. The idea that there's some Palestinian national identity prior to 48 is bull. Destiny, do you believe that Biden continuing to support the war effort is in his best interest for re-election? Yes, Israel's unbelievably popular with...
His talking points are so easy to deflect. It's insane that people look to him as a source of intelligence. It's because his talking points might be easy to deflect, but debates, and I've repeated this over and over again, debates are not done for the truth, for arriving at the truth. Debates are conducted by those who are good at rhetoric. So most people that try to address any of the things that he's saying, especially in a real-time conversation, are going to end up getting yelled at quite a bit.
Who's yelling? In what conversation? Like, why not show an example of that happening then? Like, show an example of me having a conversation with somebody who's talking about Israel in good faith. Like, I didn't yell at the Nathan Robinson guy, even though we disagreed quite a bit. Did we yell at Cenk? I mean, I feel like Cenk yelled at me more than I yelled at him. Like, and if my talking points are so easy to deflect, well, then why not do it?
And then also humiliated by his
wow, it's too bad, really. Thanks for the 5 gifted memberships.
Fan base that will never let go. His fan base are like a bunch of fucking pit bulls to a baby, okay?
I like how Hasan says this, despite the fact that like leftist fan bases literally, for as much harassment as he thinks he gets from me, bro, you should see the leftists in every single fucking subreddit that goes crazy anytime my shit gets posted. Bro, even in fucking Adam's subreddit, my God. This sucks. Destiny sucks. Yep. Watched him on Alex O'Connor's podcast and was so unimpressed with Destiny. Also, all of Destiny's recent Zionist shit that others had mentioned too. The compilation of Norman Finkelstein constantly mispronouncing Destiny's real name on the Lex Friedman podcast was pretty funny though. He's a Zionist. His whole shtick is being a liberal and hating leftists. Of course he's a Zionist. Hasn't he been saying a lot of Zionist shit lately? Like, bro, this is Adam from your movie. Like, what? Nothing. How is this like political tanky brain rot even touching this part of the internet. Like, it's so gross and weird how these like disgusting like debate pedophiles have like infected every single part of Reddit with like everything has to be like tanky, crazy shit. Like, oh my God. Ugh.
They are piranhas. They'll swarm you. They'll literally clip shit permanently out of context. They will go after your friends.
They'll literally clip you permanently out of context while he's sitting here with a supercut of things I've said over 6 months? A 4-minute supercut of one? Are you serious? How could he? This has to be a troll. Like, it's got to be intentional. He must know what he's doing, right? He must know what he's doing.
They are piranhas. They'll swarm you. They'll literally clip shit permanently out of context. They will go after your friends. They will go after those you collaborate.
They'll go after your friends. Didn't Hasan... fuck, I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there a show that he had with another big YouTuber guy that was his friend, and it got canceled because his own fan base was so rabidly hunting him across like 6 different subreddits, all over Twitter, all over YouTube, and in every Twitch chat? I don't remember who it was. H3O? Somebody will think of it.
And they will consistently keep doing this over and over again because they basically are the exact same people that used to operate this way during the peak of the alt-right.
Oh, and then he has this... I don't know where this talking point came from. That my fan... Mike from PA said this one too. That my fans are all like ex-Nazis or whatever. I don't know where that came from or why. Like...
Destiny debated a lot of alt-right dipshits and converted them.
Yeah, it's this talking point. He debated the alt-right and he converted all the Nazis into his fans, and now his fan base are all like Nazis. Like,
not being like liberals or progressives really, but just Destiny fans.
Yeah, this talking point might have actually came from Zerka. I think Zerka was the one that said this first.
Right. Destiny debated a lot of alt-right dipshits and converted them to not being like liberals or progressives really, but just Destiny fans. And they never actually let go of the blood sport that they loved. They never actually let go of the attitudes that they had. They never let go of their resentment. They never examined their worldview. They never really changed anything. They just said, yeah, I was an edgelord nihilist who called himself maybe a neo-Nazi. Now I'm an edgelord nihilist who calls himself a liberal, a Brandon supporter, a neoliberal, if you will. You know, pick whatever you want to pick. It doesn't matter because the real fun here is the toxicity, is the drama, is the cyber stalking, and it's the community memes that you cultivate off of shitting on those who are in the out group. It's actually pretty simple. That's it. That's basically all that is going on here. You know what I mean? Did you really just, like, see? They're here. They will always show themselves as well, by the way. They love...
You really just complain about out-of-context clips while watching a 4-minute compilation of 5-second clips? True!
Of lolcowing, and they love debating, which is precisely the reason why they don't really have a lot of friends in the real world, because nobody wants to be around a dude who's like constantly fucking chirping about every single issue.
Meanwhile, Hasan's fan shows up and we're like, Hasan, don't drink Coke! That's supposed to be boycotted!
And fucking stop, which is why I try to urge you guys in this community to consistently not be that person either, because I think it's like really fucking lame. Because as soon as I respond to this person and say, listen, brother, we know what his opinion is, there is no context that will, you know, that will make this look good. He is in support of Israel's actions in Palestine against the Palestinian population. He will move on to the next thing that I mentioned or something else. He will never address the point. A content creator that
I might be coughing, but I feel like alpha kids are probably going to cringe out of the crazy socialist shit. Yes, because what's happening is Hasan rode a wave of popularity, and as the wave subsides, he'll lose popularity as the wave subsides, and then only the actual converted sound fans will be left, which he does have a lot of, but how many? Oh, who knows? But the Zoomer socialism shit is definitely like, was peak popularity probably sometime last year, would be my guess. I feel like the Israel-Palestine shit like probably was a big wake-up moment for a lot of people, where they're like, ooh, this is a little bit more cringe than I thought it was. My guess, but...
I really like that used to cover the tactics in which the alt-right operate fairly well is, what's that guy? He did like all of those, he did all those like videos. What was his name? You clocked them so quick. They have logs about Destiny back from 2019 and have debate lorded you recently. Of course I did. Alt-right playbook from Innuendo Studios. Exactly. The alt-right playbook from Innuendo Studios is actually pretty good. Because if you go through their entire alt-right playbook, you will realize, like, oh my God, that's exactly what they do. That's it. Those are the tactics. The tactics have never changed. And the position for why, like the reason for why those tactics even exist is because it's for fun. These guys are not genuinely morally interested in it. There might be some people who are morally invested in, like, I guess, Israel doing ethnic cleansing. But ultimately, the real reason is drama and debate and toxicity and whatever Divorcelli chooses as his next target, they'll fucking grab.
Divorcelli. Okay, Mr. Hasan Asteroid.
Have onto, and they'll intercept communities, and they'll act like they've been there and act like they've been fans for years. Like they basically are
Hasan is going to get a huge injection of popularity during the election season. Probably will go back to 30 to 45K convert. Maybe like during like the actual elections, maybe. But one thing I'm curious about is I feel like this is a prediction that I would make. No, maybe. I could almost see Vosh or me maybe having more concurrent viewers than Hasan during election season, although it's hard because Hasan can mine Twitch viewers and nobody else can, which gives him a big edge. But I feel like one thing that Hasan is doing that could shoot himself in the foot is I feel like when you do this both sides are equally horrible thing, I feel like if you're an average Hasan viewer, you don't care as much about the election, and therefore the results might not be as entertaining to you. It's just like a vibe guess. Like if you're a Vosh fan or if you're a Destiny fan, because even Vosh hasn't done the both sides of the same thing, you might like care a lot more about the outcome of the election. I don't know if you're Hasan, you've told your fans constantly like, oh, like this is boring, who cares, like it's both sides are the same, you know, genocide Biden, blah blah blah. I don't know if you're going to care as much about the election outcome, so I don't know if you'd watch as much, but who knows, it could just be the spectacle of the election anyway. So
I would say a more presentable version of like Ice Poseidon's fan base.
But the Hasan being able to milk viewers from Twitch exclusively, because he's basically the only political streamer there, is a huge boon to him getting concurrent viewers though. So
like it's the same kind of weaponization of autism, but at least these guys understand the room a little bit better. They will, however, still come across like unhinged weirdos if you know, start asking.
Hasan is still pro harm reduction by advocating voting for Biden, right? Do you think he'll change? Is he? I have never heard that. It wouldn't surprise me if he's pro not voting for anybody. I'm not sure. But it also wouldn't surprise me either way. I don't know. I just haven't heard her give a stance on that.
Them about what they feel about incest or age of consent or whatever, but they know at least how to present themselves. Like they know how to say like, oh, I'm just curious. All I'm saying is it's not an accident. So many in this dude's community are straight up like fans of genuine pedophile Nazis. Like,
why is he allowed to watch you on stream? Has Twitch loosened the rules on ban stream? Yeah, they just changed it recently for Hasan, so now you can watch me on stream only once.
I'm talking real neo-Nazis. I'm not going to mention their name on here, but like he has collaborated with neo-Nazis regularly.
I've also collaborated with far left people too, regularly. Like probably more far left people than Nazis. That's part of the reason why you guys hate me, is because of all the lefty debates, right? So
frequently. Some of which are actual pedophiles, actual neo-Nazis who have given money.
Actual pedophiles too? Jesus Christ.
To neo-Nazi defense funds, and it's just memes.
Wait, what's the neo-Nazi defense fund? Is that Sam Hyde or was that somebody else? I'm losing track of all the Nazis that I actively collaborate with.
It's just for the memes, actually. We just think that they're funny and they just do funny memes. But the real reason why he has collaborated with them, no, I'm not talking about Nick Fuentes. I'm talking about Sam Hyde.
Okay.
Now, of course,
the one conversation I had with Sam Hyde on my stream 4 years ago, was I at my house in Omaha when I had that conversation? Or was I already in California? Oh no, it was this, Jesus. Oh no, I was already in California. Okay, never mind. That was so about 2 years ago?
I have to fight.
June 19th, 2022. January, February, March. Okay, about like a year and about 2 years ago.
Hasan.
Reason why he collaborated with him was because he keeps saying that he wants to kill me. Sam Hyde, that is. Another person that I rarely ever mention, because who the fuck cares? He's a pedophile Nazi. But he collaborated with him. I remember at the time, it was the top post LSF. They deleted it, of course,
Miami.
now.
It was Miami.
It was the top post.
Sorry, I in my head, I'm asking, like, have I already moved from Omaha? The guy was in Miami, not California. Yes.
LSF, him being like, yeah, I want to kill him. You lay down with dogs, you're going to get some fleas, you know? You should treat them like football watchers treat Arsenal fans. Why argue with Arsenal fans when you can just wait? Just wait for them to embarrass themselves, lol. Yeah, exactly. What was the story about him trying to pipe the lady sinking migrant boats? Yeah.
Remember when he got so mad because I mentioned that him and that one chick, I don't even fucking remember, Valkyrie? Is that the same person? Because I thought that it was public that they were together. He got so fucking ass pain that I brought this up, but he has no problem speculating infinitely about my life. He was almost in tears on stream about, I didn't even know this was like a huge industry secret or whatever. So funny. My God.
You got
Also, the reason this is, Hasan is like permanently triggered by anything relating to Sam Hyde too.
You got anyone you want to call out in the heavyweight division? Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hasan Piker? I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house.
Or in the ring.
No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him and wear his makeup and his dresses and use his skin as a coat like the ancient Irish did.
Well, that's your winner, Sam Hyde!
Bloody.
A lot of these people just carry fucking generational resentment almost, and they just hold on to failures that they've had in the past, and these hangups actually end up ruining their lives. In my opinion, it's just very unhealthy. That's it. Dudes who've lost out on opportunities or had phenomenal opportunities and f***ed up the bag by being out and about Nazis, like the Cartoon Network show, the Adult Swim show that Sam Hyde used to have. And then that fall off ruins their fucking brain even further.
Wow, interesting theory. The mind break theory. Huh.
Anyway, and they hold their grievances, like, they hold that close to themselves. Like, they still fucking talk about how, like, they think Tim Heidecker is the reason why Sam Hyde lost his fucking Adult Swim job. And they fucking will go to ridiculous extents, doxing, stalking, harassment. And they are exactly what you think they are. They look like the fucking Soy Jack meme in real life. They look like the fucking Cartman playing WoW in real life for the most part. It's just because I think, in reality, this kind of resentment is just very pathetic, and holding on to this grievance and not letting go and just moving on is going to just fuck your brain up after a while. That's it.
Most American voters, of course. You have to acknowledge that the Palestinian people want violence. Not Hamas, not the PLO, and not just the terrorists, but Palestinians en masse think that fighting will serve their end. That thought needs to be wiped out. I'm sorry, but no offense, Iran's lost, okay? I'm sorry, they're the losers of the Middle East. Everybody looks at them, everybody laughs. They try to mind the...
Hello?
Hello? There we go. Your title still says Bridges is at 4 p.m. EST, but it's at 5, right?
Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting for Lycan to give me the okay to go downstairs. On the calendar, it's on 4, so...
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Fine.
Can see to the south of that. They try to shoot into Saudi Arabia. But Iran, the Ayatollahs are such a loser, and the people in Iran hate the government. Okay?
Sodas were not allowed in. Cookies were not allowed in. Can you explain to me what threat cookies pose to Israel from your perspective?
Well, if they're the kilo elf ones, it's like 200 calories a cookie, so maybe they just don't want people getting fat. Are the people in Gaza being starved? When that population has exploded, one of the highest birth rates in the past 2 decades, I don't understand how they could sustain it if they didn't have food. Why did Israel ban potato chips, cookies, Gaza Strip?
Oh, wait, he Googled it, dude. He's going to Google the talking point real quick, bro. Just wait.
I read the ice.
What? Like, how could you make fun of me for Google? Like, oh, did Hasan do his daily reading? Let's check. What was Hasan's research for today? Why does my Windows key? That's fucking annoying. Your daily reading, ladies and gentlemen. How many Twitter tabs do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 Twitter tabs today. Nice. Good job.
CJ opinion, and they didn't say to stop doing X. They just said, be careful.
With no weapons, just marked from a drone.
Yeah, I would say these guys are almost certainly Hamas. Footage being real doesn't mean you're not being manipulated. For instance, the Flower Massacre. It's not fake, but it's staged. Look at all these cameramen. This is film. This.
He's doing Pallywood, bro.
Wait, was that from the same conversation? Wait, hold on.
It's not fake, but it's staged. Look at all these cameramen. This is film. This not being manipulated. For instance, the Flower Massacre. It's not fake, but it's staged. Look at all these camera.
Wait, this isn't even I'm not even referring to the same thing. Wait, what? There was a cut. What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck?
Cameramen. This is film. This.
He's doing Pallywood. Bro, you're not even...
Because I'm pretty sure the second thing was me referring to the guys that were walking up to the Israeli shooters knowing they were going to get shot, versus the Flower Massacre was me saying, like, it's not fake, like, the film is real, but the narrative might not be real. But I don't think that any part of the Flower Massacre stuff or whatever, I don't even like that name. I don't know of any part of that. I doubt any part of that was staged or was like for show or it doesn't seem like it. That didn't at least from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like that was a thing where people just wanted to go and get killed or were doing this like for show, because there's not even good footage available of it. Like, my mind will change on the event based on the evidence that I have for the particular event. And on the convoy trucks, It's not like there was a bunch of good footage from people they're trying to bait getting shot. I don't think any of that footage existed. So I wouldn't say that about that event. That doesn't fit. The facts don't line up there.
Israeli, what's happening? Bro's talking like a fucking settler, dude. How did this happen? Like, I don't hear about Pallywood from anyone that is not directly like an Israeli ultranationalist. That's shocking. Pallywood is the conspiracy theory that is laughable to anyone with a fucking brain that only the most psychopathic far-right Israelis believe in.
Yeah, that is pretty annoying. It's a bit crazy that LSF drama between you is banned and they allowed banned streamer reacts on Twitch now. Like, your response reach is still limited. The institutional limitation on that is pretty f***ing annoying. Now none of my responses will ever make it to LSF, which is fine, whatever. But now that Hasan has like open rights to like react to me live on stream, that's pretty wild. If he's ever reacting to any of my like long form content and I feel like it's not fair use, I will DMC the out of that bullshit, because that's unbelievable. Like, I have no voice on this platform except for when your people steal my content to watch on stream. And I have like, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievably crazy to me. Like, you better transform the out of that. I better not catch a chair react to any Destiny debate, because that's wild. Holy shit.
That they claim, well, I mean, or not believe him, but at least
somebody actually sent me a really interesting email. I don't think there's any validity to this, but I thought this is interesting. I never followed this up because I doubted it, but I thought it was interesting. Warning, ESL. After the recent Twitch policy update, I think there could be a case for systemic defamation of banned streamers against Twitch. The rule change pretty much only allows your content to be played if they're actively criticizing you. On top of that, people are incentivized to not show your original content while talking about it, which will distort the perception of you by the casual viewer. If you could get this in front of a court, it would be a very interesting case of how responsible deplatforming by big media platforms has to be handled. You'd be the perfect person to bring a case like this, especially because your bans in general are questionable even for Twitch's TOS. Do you know why you're blah, blah, blah? And then this is another interesting part about Twitch TOS is the case of James Fanlord Varga. He is alleging that the jury found the terms of service and secret strike guide of Twitch improper. Overall, you should get legal advice if there's a good case to be made. The discovery process of such a case alone would be fun. Subpoena Twitch for communications about you and your ban should be good memes. Yeah, I doubt it, but I doubt that. But I don't even know what systemic discrimination or defamation even means for a platform. But yeah, it is pretty like obnoxious that there's like a whole platform that I have no access to in a positive way, where the people there can infinitely recycle and shit on my content, and I have no reach there at all. That's so fucking annoying. You probably convinced Dan Clancy to unban. No, I've messaged that guy twice, and I don't think I've gotten a real response ever. I don't know if he's just busy or what, but he accepted my friend request, but I sent 2 messages across 2 months and he didn't respond.
at least have the audacity to openly say. Normal Israelis also do believe in Pallywood, but I'm saying like most of them at least know better to just like not openly state that this is this is completely made up. Pallywood, for those of you who don't know, is the idea that Israel actually isn't doing any fucking genocide whatsoever or never really killing Palestinians. But as a matter of fact, Palestinians are just doing makeup and faking the deaths.
Do you prefer it all being banned, or it's okay to comment on? I feel like I'd rather just it all be completely banned. If they don't want to host any, this clip edit is Pallywood. Good point. If they don't want to host any of my content, that's fine. But I feel like then they shouldn't host any of it. I don't know.
And honestly, outside of Germans, I've never seen somebody in the West who has no connection to Israel whatsoever repeat the Pallywood statements like this.
Outside of Germans? Do modern Germans, are they known for having a strong was that like a weird Nazi assumption? I feel like I haven't heard explicitly or specifically Germans having issues relating to Israel or making Pallywood comments. That's kind of a weird statement, but maybe I'm just mixing. Germans do kind of love Israel. Yeah, but I feel like most of Europe kind of does. I don't think Germans especially do they?
I've never seen somebody in the West who has no connection to Israel whatsoever repeat the Pallywood statements like this. Yeah, it is like akin to Holocaust denial, yes.
This is cinema. This is Kino. But if anything, people screaming for help might carry more evidence that it's a terrorist than not. What is the implication in your mind? Like, what are you thinking? You're like, oh.
Oh, dude, this is great, man. This is awesome. What do the Destiny fans have to say about this? They're probably just like, oh, dude, you're taking him out of context. He didn't mean it. He was just joking when he says people screaming for help actually is more likely that they're terrorists is a bar for sure.
Like what do you know? Okay, what a wild thing to do. A 5-minute supercut of 5 to 10 second statements spread over 5 to 6 months. Flower Massacre original timestamp.
Footage being real doesn't mean you're not being manipulated. For instance, the Flower Massacre. That footage is real. There were people getting shot by the IDF. There were people stampeding trucks. That was real footage. It was verified as being authentic and real. However, when somebody shows you that footage and they say, oh, well, here's footage of a bunch of poor Palestinians that were just walking up to a truck asking for food, and then the IDF started shooting at them, right? Or let's say they even started the stampede knowing that, like, well, fuck, let's go get some fucking shit. If the IDF shoots us, we'll just fucking record it, and we'll fucking ship it to the West and shit on the IDF. That's Pallywood. It's real. The IDF can be shooting people. They shouldn't be making mistakes, but that's Pallywood. You're trying to induce mistakes to capture on camera so that you can send it to the West.
Do you remember the scene in
I
America?
felt like it's a substantially different comment than it was all fake, but I'm also saying here too, we don't even know what happened. We don't know the fucking start of this whole thing. I don't think we'll probably never know because that footage apparently doesn't exist.
Okay, the commanders in Israel today are like, all right, here's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna intentionally target this convoy of humanitarian. We're gonna all of them, and then we'll just like publish a statement later today. It'll be epic and hilarious. Like, I'm gonna turn the whole world against me. We're gonna foreign nationals for the lulz. What a statement! Like, even Russia wouldn't do something that. Nobody operates in this way. It's so stupid. It's so patently obvious. Like, if you think this, you're a child. And your whole.
It's not your fucking idiot. He's gonna pull out a real good Google search to show you down. Yeah.
Did the Wikipedia line get old? So now like we're making fun of Google searches? Like little bro, your whole timeline are just tweets from accounts that you agree with. It's worse than every other thing that you've accused anybody else of doing. Like, people Googling are going to be more informed than you. People reading Wikipedia are going to be more informed than you. People watching or listening to Fox News are probably going to be more informed than you. Like, you're opening Twitter accounts that you agree with and just reading down their tweets. When was the last time Blood even read like a full article on stream? Just an article.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie. Nice clip chimping. Listen to his context. Bro, what context? The context is him defending Israel. Is he not defending Israel? Like, you can't pick this apart.
I mean, I think anyone would agree that footage can be used for the sake of propaganda or swaying public opinion, but a lot of chatters unironically believe there's evidence for Palestinians staging scenarios intentionally to get footage for this purpose. I feel like that's pretty wild, but I don't know. I feel like the two videos that we saw felt kind of like that. The one with the people walking towards the IDF and then the wife running forward to cry about it, and the one with the guys going outside looking down the street, like that's kind of what that seems like. I have a hard time imagining where it's not. No, I don't. I could imagine places where it's not, but I feel like it's less likely than there's really, really, really weird. The sling one is also like, I don't know, man. That's just wild. Would you agree that it's conjecture? I mean, people in an extreme situation might not have similar behavior to what you'd imagine to be reasonable from your vantage point. I wish that we could. I feel like I need to make a clip or a video. I don't know how to. You're doing the thing of, if somebody is scared or if somebody is confused or if somebody's frightened, all behavior becomes equally probable. Like, wow. How did this 5-year-old like is instantly deploying every single integration shortcut, in like Calc 2, Calc BC homework? How did he do that? Well, Destiny. He's in a, war zone. People don't always act predictably in war zones. Like, yeah, he might have just suddenly, divined Calc BC. Like, that statement is so fucking retarded. But you guys say that when people are scared or people are in war zones, you're like, oh, well, anything could happen. Like, every single behavior becomes equally probable. There is an equal chance that they could engage in any behavior. There's a video of a man flying. How the fuck is a guy flying? You think that's real? Well, what do you mean, how is he flying? He's hungry. People do crazy things when they're hungry. He could fly. He might. Have you ever been that hungry before? How the fuck do you even know then? Destiny? People aren't always logical, okay, when they're hungry. He might be flying, and you just can't comprehend it because you're Hasbara. You could call it opportunistic filming instead. I guess Pallywood in my mind feels like that, but maybe Pallywood just means completely and totally staged, like nobody's actually dying. It might be an inappropriate word. I admit that. I think if you listen to what I'm saying, it's pretty obvious what I'm saying. Whatever you call the lower level of that. But what do you think to Bitcoin about the halving in a few hours? Has that mattered or not? I feel like you're not talking to me. You're making an assumption based on what you imagine is reasonable behavior in the scenario. I just feel like there isn't nearly enough evidence to support the theory of Pallywood, so when I see chatters say it's verifiably true, I just think it's cringe. Sure, if somebody says it's 100% true or verifiably true, that would be cringe, because we don't know 100%. It's possible that in a war zone, there's a ton of different footage being captured, and some of it might look bad, but in any war, some of it might look bad. People don't know the difference between staged and scripted. They hear scripted when you say Pallywood. Sure.
This is him defending the World Central Kitchen bombings.
Or I'm sorry, you can't be at war with an enemy and the civilian population starts dying in mass because they can't access humanitarian aid. If that's happening, the enemy has failed their obligation, which Hamas does all the time, but nobody ever gives a fuck about that. But then Israel is also failing their obligation to ensure the safety and humanitarian aid delivery to the civilian population of the enemy as well. You have to do both. It can't just be like, good luck. Israel's military chief said it was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in very complex conditions. It shouldn't have happened. No, that's bullshit. Remember the big painting I did earlier about how you have like this and you got a bunch of things where there could be small conflict things inside of a whole thing? The military commander was saying like, oh, well, the whole situation is complex. Sure, but it's not like this was an active war zone. It wasn't an active battle zone where an airstrike was being called in to help with troop movements or something. This was a convoy driving in the dead of night in a place where I don't believe there was any active fighting going on a target that had intel, ISR, like surveillance and shit, that intelligence had identified ahead of time. That idea of like, oh, it's a chaotic environment coming from F-16s or whatever the planes they fly to bomb. This was not like like the hostage situation where the 3 hostages were shot. That was a chaotic moment. And I'm way more sympathetic towards that in that moment. For this, targeted airstrike for people that you had intel on ahead of time, on a pre-approved humanitarian aid route, shooting convoy vehicles, no, that excuse doesn't work there. That doesn't cut it. Do you think that they thought a Hamas member was on board? Again, even if a Hamas member was on board, that can't be the calculation. We're going to go ahead and blow up 3 humanitarian aid vehicles with 6, I need to get the number right, 6 or 9 foreign nationals on it because a Hamas member is on board. That can't be the calculation. It's too much. Even if there was a Hamas member on board, the entire world and probably even Israel is not accepting that. Like the population won't accept that proportionality. That's unhinged.
That the entire global community recognized as completely unjustifiable. That Israel itself said oopsie on. Like, what do you mean? Is he saying, just kidding, this is what I would say if I was a genocidal asshole after the very second that clip ends? Because that's the only time where this would be out of context. Haha, just kidding. If I was a genocidal monster demonstrating how oblivious I am to the inhumanity presented by the horrifying videos that are coming out of Gaza, this is what I would say. He straight up, in the previous one, was talking about the flower massacre being Kino. It is real, but it's still like cameras are presented. He's undermining the severity of the Israeli actions.
I don't even think I said that. Did I like show the actual...
Like, that's it.
Was the flower massacre the World Central Kitchen bombing? I thought that was a different bombing. Those are 2 different events. The flower massacre one is where people say that Israel drove food out to lure in a bunch of starving Palestinians just to shoot them all down with machine guns. Because apparently the IDF has literally nothing better to do than driving convoy trucks with civilian operators that are going to be witnessing IDF atrocities to go and kill and shoot and murder random Palestinian people in the middle of nowhere, right?
Approach to the conflict is childlike.
I don't know if there needs to be another occupation. I don't know if they just need another government. I don't know if there needs to be like a different Palestinian administrator, but what exists right now just can't be. It just can't be. I don't know. It's totally unacceptable.
You guys have an encyclopedia worthy paste bin of like everything that I say that is like clipped out of context or clipped in a way that like is to show the absolute worst possible.
The Kino comment was about the sling guy.
This is cinema. This is Kino. Okay. This is staged, but it's
really
happening.
This is the wackiest. So like I would call this Pallywood, but apparently this isn't Pallywood. I don't know what you would call this. Propaganda? I don't whatever you would want to call this. But like even calling it propaganda, it feels like it's something stronger than that. Like Jesus. But it's not really what you think it is. It's not just a freedom fighter on a truck that's just trying to kill evil Israeli soldiers that are walking by. It's a guy with a full medical crew on standby, captured from 4 different camera angles, that's trying to get shot by the IDF so that he can get footage and then it looks good when it goes viral. That's what's happening. So do you believe the guy walking and then standby just right? The whole look at all this fucking video.
This would be considered Pallywood, okay? Depending on the footage that you're seeing. So all it is it's just a kid slinging rocks at the IDF. I say just, but I mean you can kill people with this. And then he gets shot. So he really did get shot. He got shot. That's true. That's not fake, but it's staged. Look at all these cameramen.
The guy with the press vest, another guy with a press vest, the ambulance right here with the medical personnel ready to run up and grab the kid.
You have multiple cameramen capturing this on camera, and you have
look at all these medical people, right? You've got a war where innocent civilians are like dying or being killed or buried beneath rubble, are the victims of collateral damage and strikes and everything, and you're wasting how much press? How many ambulance workers, first responders are being wasted on this kid so that you could capture him on video throwing rocks? This is wild.
Right here on standby to do first aid for this kid that just got shot. So it's like
in the context of any number of things that he's actually saying here. I'm sure you have his opinion locked and ready to go in the chamber too. He's so close to saying Palestinians need to die, bro. He has said that. That was his starting position. His starting position on October 7, I think, was literally
genocide. Was literally the Palestinians need to be genocided. Say that
a genocide needs to happen. Lol.
Yeah.
And then he spent the next couple of months
justifying
scouring Wikipedia to engage in post hoc rationalizations for why this is actually permissible. Everything that Israel is doing is good. He literally started there and worked backwards, which is something that he hates the most. Because a lot of people do that, and he says, I do that all the time. But when he does it in broad daylight, his audience might even get mad at him for it. You know what I mean? So he desperately tries to fucking act like, no, I'm learning. I'm just learning. You hate learning. It's like, no, dumbass, we're not saying you hate learning. We're not making fun of you for learning. We're making fun of you for being completely oblivious to the reality and playing catch up. And still, of course, because your starting position is unshakable here, because you're the permanent contrarian, you're doing a very shitty...
Am I a contrarian? Wouldn't I technically be following the State Department and Israel propaganda here? Does it even make sense to call me a contrarian? Wouldn't I just be like falling in line like a good sheep?
Job at defending genocide, which is already hard to begin with. Why are we shitting on looking up facts? Oh, he's being disingenuous. Yes, dude. Yes, using Wikipedia is okay. That's not the point here. It's so funny how quickly you get captivated by this like talking point where you're like, oh, I guess these people are shitting on research. No, dude. Wiki research is just a catch-all term. But when I talk about wiki research lol, what I'm not talking about is like trying to genuinely learn what the fuck is going on by scouring Wikipedia. What I'm shitting on is having a position that is pro-Israeli genociding Palestinian people and then trying to play catch-up against people who have been literally writing books on the matter since before he was born. You know? And here it is. There you go. Thank you. If you want context, he says bombing the kitchen crew was bad. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Thank God he said bombing the kitchen crew was bad. But to say Israel deliberately bombed knowing them, they were just feeding Palestinians, so you went on a 5-minute rant when you both agree it was a bad thing to happen just so you think that Jews were just looking for blood of innocence? Yeah, dude, that's what I said. You're right. Yeah, you definitely did a really good job of reframing my...
I bet if somebody could find the footage of him originally commenting on it, I bet, I haven't watched it, but I bet what Hasan said was, because I can write his scripts, I bet what he said was, Israel probably killed those aid workers because they want Palestinians to starve. Now, find me the original footage, and maybe I'm wrong. It'd be nice if I was wrong and he had a better take than that. Maybe he couched his take in Israel just indiscriminately bombs so much they don't even give a fuck who they shoot. But I bet he did say that. I bet he did say, yeah, they want to send a message. They don't want Palestinians to get food. They want them to starve. They don't want aid workers going there. Somebody find the original video of him talking about it.
What was their reasoning that this wasn't an approved assassination mission? I think Dimmy brings up a really good point. Why the would they let the WCK operate for a month only to do this targeted assassination after 1 month of working? They could have done it 1 month ago in the beginning. 2, they could have just not let WCK operate at all. I think he brought up really good points, really good, really strong points. I think it's more so that they just don't care if these things happen as long as there's not a lot of massive backlash. The problem is in a sea of genocidal actions, sometimes this kind of does get a lot of coverage. So the people operating the drones probably did not foresee this getting this level of coverage. So they thought, yeah, we'll get away with it. Look at Shifa. It's absolutely intentional. No, the intentionality of that one unit is not what we're talking about. Obviously, they intentionally killed these people. We're not saying it was an accident. This goes beyond it, though, because the IDF does, to a certain degree, care about like not having headlines like this. So I think that it's more so, it's like cops that kill black people. Okay, they're like, what do you mean? I was killing black people left and right. Why the this one that relevant? It's like George Floyd. Cops can't understand it. Do you not get it? Cops literally are like, what do you mean I can't kill black people now? What the it's the same principle. None of these people had arms. None of them were engaged in combat. This is a blatant war crime. There's no way this mistake could happen. No, it is a war crime. No one is saying it's not a war crime. I'm telling you, when there is no accountability whatsoever, yes, some units are going to be like, yeah, we're going to kill these workers, these aid workers. Why are they giving aid to the barbarians? Remember? It's intentional. But I do think it spells a larger breakdown of the command structure. Or maybe they just didn't give a f because they didn't think people would cover it. They definitely intentionally targeted the convoy. That much is 100% a certainty. What they didn't realize was what kind of backlash would occur in the Western media.
I'm curious what he said.
For those of you who don't know, Israel is a country in the Middle East doing a lot of no-no things, like genocide, and more no-no things, like having an apartheid state. And when you're doing genocide in your apartheid state to millions of Palestinians that are living under occupation, turns out sometimes you end up triple-tapping some of the aid workers that are trying to desperately bring in much-needed food to the people that you're genociding. And that's precisely what happened yesterday. Did you just accept Israel as a nation? I did not. I'm just telling you how it is. I do not accept isn't real, and the things that isn't real does, but I do.
Does he not accept that Israel's a nation? Maybe he is more Muslim than I thought. Damn, nice.
And that's precisely what happened yesterday. Did you just accept Israel as a nation? I did not. Just telling you how it is. I do not accept isn't real, and the things that isn't real does, but I do have to cover what isn't real is doing, because the genocide is real. That's what's going on. Yes, they deliberately killed the aid convoy people. Okay, they did. What the are you going to do about it? What is it?
They deliberately, okay, deliberately as in why? Where are we going to get it? What's the reason? What's the reason?
Anyone going to do about it? Israel gets to kill whoever the they want to. That's it, and the world needs to suck it. Are you going to complain? What the are we going to do? The American government yesterday or over the weekend announced that they are giving $18 billion of weapons, JDAMs, precision-guided munitions, and F-15s to Israel. After Joe Biden for the past 2 months has been like, oh, Israel, cut it out. I called Netanyahu a bad word.
We do not target hospitals. Let's be clear. Israel does not target hospitals.
Yeah, remember that? Let us be clear. Israel does not target hospitals unless there are Hamas patients. Hamas patients. Come on, guys. Anyone who captured that moment and thought it was far-fetched for someone like myself to say Israel undoubtedly had struck this hospital already. So the idea that this was going to be a unique circumstance where Islamic Jihad rocket that blew up, like ridiculous. They've blown up every hospital. They've literally...
Oh, he still believes that one hospital was blown up by, yeah.
Blown up every hospital. They sieged Al-Shifa again and again. Was I a future seer? Was I gifted with future sight? Is that what it was? No, it's because I've covered it for years. I don't have precog. I just know what Israel does and what Israel has done and what their capabilities are.
Also, what is the what was the end? I need to go over that whole raid. Am I making this up? I feel like I read something that they had arrested like over 200 people, or was it killed 200 people that were? Oh, was it captured 900? IDF ends Shifa hospital raid, says it killed 200 terror operatives, arrested 500 more in the wake of a 2-week operation. In the second raid, this is the second one, right? During the raid, which began on March 18th, the IDF said troops captured some 900 suspects, of whom more than 500 were confirmed to be terror operatives, and killed more than 200 gunmen. Among those killed and detained were top commanders in Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
Yeah,
Bridges? They're about to start. I bet, Faye, didn't you say Twitter source doesn't matter, just what the source is? Yes, that is true. Just like Wikipedia, Google, books, tweets, none of them are necessarily bad if you use them responsibly. Hasan doesn't use them responsibly. He opens journalists that he agrees with, and then he reads down their tweets, and that's it. None of this is like legitimate, valid research. He's not even really reading like interesting tweets for stuff that's exclusive to Twitter. He's like, instead of reading an article, like actually reporting on the instance, he's just reading like Twitter reports that are parroting information from other sources. Like this isn't even original reporting. Like they're saying like, oh, it's been reported. Like why not just read the original source of the report? I don't have technically problems with people. I don't have a problem with people reading Twitter and getting information off Twitter. It's when you exclusively read Twitter from accounts only that you agree with and then make fun of how other people do research. That's wild. That's the funny part. Before you leave for Bridges, AIO or air cooler for CPU, I will carry this opinion for the rest of my life. Listen, at the end of the day, everything is an air cooler. Just get an air cooler. Like, I don't know why people use air. I don't know why people use water. If you're going to put your CPU underwater, then you have to do like a huge fucking custom loop. Otherwise, just stick a giant air cooler on it, okay? Here is an air cooler, okay? Here's the CPU. and then air cooler goes on. Big, okay, big radiator, okay? It's got fins, lots of surface area, and then you've got a fan here that blows air through the radiator, okay? Your ability to cool your CPU is basically going to be determined by the difference in temperature between your radiator and your CPU's IHS, the little thing on top, and then how well your IHS transfers heat to the thing that sits on the CPU. Okay, that's it. For a water cooler, you have a CPU, and then you've got a water pump, but guess what? This water pump goes to another radiator that is the exact same fucking thing as this. It's the same fucking thing with fans on it. Except sometimes it's a little bigger, but it doesn't need to be that much bigger. Who the fuck cares? Okay? You're not doing that. You don't need 240, 280, 320, 380 millimeter radiator. You don't need this much bullshit. Your CPU's not making that much heat. It's 2024. These processors are unbelievably fucking powerful. You don't need all this shit. Okay? It's the same shit. It's just in one, you've got all this extra hunky bullshit equipment to pump shit and make fucking noise and get water bubbles stuck in fucking everything, and it's annoying and cringe, and who cares? It's not quieter, but it's quieter. No, it's not. It's not quieter. Bullshit. Every single pump, every water cooler, you know, I go into somebody's house, you know, I can tell they're a fucking retard. You know, I can tell they're a retard because I step in and we start chatting. I'm like, wait, hold on. Are you kind of like a nerdy guy? Do you play games? They're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh, you do. Let's wait a second. And then we sit and we wait. And if I don't hear anything, I'm like, okay, you're a cool guy. But you know what? If we sit and we wait and I hear, like, you're a fucking retard. You have a water cooler, because I can hear the gurgling fucking bubbly, boiling bullshit in your fucking all-in-one water cooler, because all of them have this issue and they all suck. Or I can hear your pump dying, because they're all dying. All the pumps are dying. All the water is bubbly. All of it sucks. Fuck AIOs, okay? Fuck all these stupid pre-built all-in-one water coolers. They're cringe, okay? All of them. They look nice, though. That's the only benefit. They say they look nice. But who cares? You shouldn't be looking inside your computer. You should be looking at your monitor.
I argue when you both agree it was a bad thing to happen, just so you think that Jews were just looking for blood of innocence? Yeah, dude, that's what I said. You're right. Yeah, you definitely did a really good job of reframing my argument in the most...
I mean, that's basically what he said. Jews are just killing anybody they want. They're on a genocidal fucking... Isn't that basically what he said? I mean, we just watched like 10 minutes of that video. It's basically what he said, no?
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Thank God he said bombing the kitchen crew was bad. But to say Israel deliberately bombed, knowing them, they were just feeding Palestinians, so you went on a 5-minute rant when you both agree it was a bad thing to happen, just so you think that Jews were just looking for blood of innocence?
You said they were deliberately killing aid workers, no? Did he not? Like...
Yeah, dude, that's what I said. You're right. Yeah, you definitely did a really good job of reframing my argument in the most charitable, most favorable way possible, even though I've, spent hours talking about it. No, my friend. My position on this is that the organized chaos that seemingly is disorganized on the ground is deliberate. Okay? It's called kill zones. That is precisely what Israel is doing, so that their units that have already been
Wait, do you think that the World Kitchen trucks didn't get killed because they were in a kill zone? How is that related at all to this?
Operating without any kind of serious top-down scrutiny will continue doing these incredibly violent things. And the evidence I use for that is the 200 aid workers that they killed prior to the World Central Kitchen aid workers. There have been many instances where deconfliction has not saved the lives of aid workers, whether it be the Palestinian Red Crescent, whether it be UNRWA aid workers, whether it be any number of UNRWA aid workers that are working to feed Palestinians.
Okay. People are saying in chat, air coolers cannot cool the i9 12900KF. The 12900 takes lots of power, like 200 to 250 watts. God damn. Is that true? What CPU do I have in this computer? I thought the TDP on processors were like 130. Well, let's look at older ones. i7 4900K. Is that a real processor? No, 4790K. It was 88 watts. What do I have? A 7980XE on this computer? 165 watts. That's like with 16 cores. What type of processor is this? I didn't even know they were made i9s. I thought it was like a meme. Do mean comments affect your mental health? I get triggered a little bit in the time, but when I shut off the stream, I'm generally chill. I don't usually carry shit with me, which is good for me. Oh, this has 16 cores as well. Number of performance cores, number of efficient cores. What the fuck does that mean? Do performance cores have hyperthreading and efficient cores don't? Live on both Kick and YouTube. Okay, be down in a few minutes. TDP doesn't tell you how much power they actually use. TDP isn't super meaningful anymore. I thought TDP, thermal design power, I thought that was how much wattage they're supposed to draw at the max stock clock. Am I making that up? It's the maximum amount of heat generated by the computer chip or component. Does this not mean anything anymore? Will you come back after? Probably not. Control F. Do they even list? Maximum turbo power, 241 watts. The maximum sustained over 1 second power dissipation of the process is limited by current and or temperature controls. Instantaneous power may exceed maximum turbo power for short durations, less than 2 milliseconds. No. Damn. What is the... Oh, it's making me want to build a new rig. Some guy sent me an email about how new processors and all these new things have like new features and shit. And even if I'm not gaming, it's worth it to build new computers. And I was tempted, but I haven't. I'm just too lazy.